Let's see if it's going to work connecting. It might be working this time.
Hi, Marie.
Oh, hello.
Oh
Hi,
my God,
Mary.
it's working.
That is amazing. I'm so delighted. I was wondering if we would have, this is the smoothest start I've had since any of the Facebook Lives that we've been doing. So well done.
Thank you. I have been watching Declan and Sam, so yeah, I saw that and went, oh God.
No,
And
I'm
my
so
husband.
delighted to have you here.
Thank you.
It's very exciting. And I think as well, just feel totally relaxed. I mean, the whole reason for us doing this is to try and inspire anybody out there who, your story is going to resonate with. It's very, it's very unique. It's very different to the stories that we've shared so far, but also just giving people an opportunity to be able to hear your story. I have just so much enjoyed working with you and just to be able to share, I suppose, your experience, your journey, your story, and give you a place to be able to share that part of you as well. I think is I'm pretty honored to be able to help you with that, Mary.
You're very sweet. I suppose I should start with life before meeting you, Mairead. Makes sense.
Absolutely.
I suppose for me, 2017 and 2018 were two very tough years. 2017 was personally very tough. I had my second little girl, our little baby Molly, at the end of 16, but just before she was born, my dad went into hospital, and 4 months after she was born, he passed away. And he spent all of her first 4 months in hospital and in hospices. And now, we were absolutely blessed that both Molly and I got to spend so much time with him as a result of being on maternity leave. But as you can imagine, with a newborn and with emotions and everything running high and exhaustion running very high, it was quite a difficult time. And during all of that period, we were building our house in Laois in Ireland, and we moved into that in June. So 2017 was quite epic, with, I suppose, 3 of the biggest things you're going to do in your life all showing up on your doorstep within 9 months. So it was pretty epic. And then for me, 2018, I suppose, professionally was very tough. I've been working between practice and industry. I'm a finance manager, working between both for 16 years, and it was probably the toughest year in my career by a country mile, to be honest. A few things happened, and I suppose I had one moment towards the end of that year where I was driving up to Dublin for a meeting. And I know people say, what's your aha moment when you decide to change things? But for me, it was more of an, oh fuck moment than an and I was driving up for a meeting, and it was 5 o'clock in the morning, and I thought I'd rather crash the car than go in. And to me, that was like, okay, Mary, you had a fleeting moment. You never, ever should have that moment again. You need to take control back over your life. Yeah. And I suppose at the time as well, relationships were quite tough. Like, everything was strained and stressed, be it money or tension or constant guilt. I was on the road at 5 a.m. going to Dublin, and spending 4 hour days in the car, and then wrecked when I got home to the kids, and then up during the night with the kids and everything. So and it was just constant. And Brian's in Dublin as well, so both of us are doing 4 hour round trips most days. And I always felt money as well was pretty much limited. That credit card was always needing to be paid off, never really had anything extra in the bank, foreign holidays, things like that. Now we have a beautiful home to show for it, so I've no regrets. And I suppose for me personally then, my energy levels were very, very low. My back was constantly in pain, and I was, constantly sick, big sore throats, whatever. And so are the kids. They were constantly getting coughs, antibiotics, and all that sort of stuff. So then you popped into my life. So yeah, I met Mairead at a BO event. So for people that don't know that, the Garrahy sisters run them, and we were down at Spanish Point, Armada in Spanish Point, and it was absolutely stunning location and a stunning day. And Mairead was last on the couch as one of the experts, and everything she said, my 2 best friends were on either side of me, pucking me. I was bruised up. And it was quite amazing, actually. They were both on either side taking me going, oh my God, you have to meet this woman, you have to meet her, you have to get in touch. This is you, you're stuck, you're struggling a small bit. You have to get in touch. So I did. And here we are,
You
8 months
did.
later, right?
I know. It's been amazing, Mary. Like, there's a lot of people that attend events, and it's so great because they get so motivated. And I think, and also there's so many wonderful things shared that you can implement, but it's all about also that ongoing work, isn't it, that people need to do. It's not, what are you taking home with you, and actually what are you implementing. And I think for you as well, it's kudos, because you were brave enough to actually reach out to me. Like, we didn't speak at BO, but afterwards, you reached out to me and you were like, oh, okay. So I think the first thing that I suppose wanted to share with people was that if you feel inspired to do something, or take action, or reach out to somebody,
Yeah.
let your heart be the guider, because we get so caught in our logic and reasons why we shouldn't do it, or that'd be crazy, or what if this and what if that. But you were brave enough to actually just go and reach out and actually contact me. So for the people that are listening, I mean, I think your story is so relevant to so many people, especially a lot of people in Ireland, where people are, they're trying their absolute best to do everything. Be the working mom, the running the house, commuting, trying to keep yourself healthy, and that life was a bit chaotic for you back then. So that was probably 12 months ago, let's say?
Yeah, about 8 months
Yeah.
only.
8 months, okay, there you go. If you were to kind of paint a picture now of your life now, I suppose to show people a difference, or how you're feeling now, how would you explain that?
I think number one for me is that my relationship with Brian and my two little kiddies has completely changed, which is absolutely amazing, for me. So much happier in myself. I asked Brian, actually, my husband, the other day, I said, what do you think has changed? And he said, you're so much happier in yourself. And he said that shows then in all of us, because everything around the house is just easier. We get things done and there's no bother. We'll figure it out. And definitely with the kids, I'm so much more present, and I just enjoy, they're just at a fabulous age and I enjoy them so much. They're 2 and 5 currently, and the crack is 90, and the devilment and the stories, and I'm just there for them when I am there. So I don't beat myself up anymore about, I have to be here, I have to do this, I have to get on my phone and do this, and I have to go here and everywhere. And when I'm with them, and I just love that, and I love my time with them. And I suppose the other thing that's really changed is my career focus. So I've really wanted to take control back over my career, and I suppose be responsible for my own life. It was a tough time last year, but I blamed others, and that's not right. I really feel like, okay, Mary, hold on a second. You need to take control back. You need to take full responsibility for everything you do in your career, in your personal life, and everything else. And things like putting on weight and you have a bad back, sure, that's crazy, but it's still happening. It's all of that stuff. So slow and steady, I've been picking away things. I am studying a program with Moriarty called Thinking into Results, and the first lesson is about goal setting. And I was thinking long and hard on my 5 a.m. trips, and the first thing that popped into my head was, I want to help people. So I know people on here might go, sure, she's helping people in the finance world, but not like that. So I want to truly help people and try and change their lives, or make their lives easier, I suppose, when they're going through different life-changing events. So I was like, okay, this is a huge remit to think about, helping people. Where do you even start? And it was one of those 5 a.m. drives that I had my aha moment, that after Dad passed, Mom said to me, God, you'd be amazing at this. And what she meant by that was, I took all of Dad's affairs for her and did everything from start to finish. So that's my goal. That's what I want to do. I want to take someone's paperwork from start to finish, take all that crap off their desk and off their emotional lives, and let them get on with be grieving or spending days with their loved ones, or whatever that is. And I'll mind the utilities, I'll mind the taxing in the car, I'll mind all of that, solicitors, auctioneers, banks, everything. and hopefully show them that, you know, I suppose I've been through with Dad. I know people have been through far, far worse than I have. But I suppose I've seen how it affects people. I've seen how it
Yeah.
affects me. If a Vodafone bill is coming in for the fourth time with Dad's name in it. Whereas I could hopefully take that stress away from people and be able to just give them, you know, give them time and give them space to not have to deal with crap, you know, like that, which is so undeserved. And I can be objective and hopefully get it done quicker as well and more efficiently, because I have it all set up and I have my solicitors working in the background and things like that, that I know what people are looking for. So I'll be that intermediary with everyone. And I suppose I found my passion, and I just love it, and yeah, I'm so happy.
It's amazing. It's so wonderful. I mean, you're just lighting up when you talk about it, so it's just obvious. And I always remember, like, the first time you told me the story about your dad, and, you know, like, just having that aha moment, you know, where you're driving along, you're thinking, imagine if I could help other people not have to go through that. And it resonated with me a lot as well with palliative care. And I think that's what we had a lot of banter about, right? Was, you know, I saw the struggle for people, you know, when people, it's like the last few days of someone's life and they're worried about, like, you know, the paperwork for this or the paperwork for that, or where do we start with all this next phase after someone has died. And I just think that your goal and your mission and your passion is just so exciting. And it's, yeah, I just cannot wait to see it's just flourish and blossom as you deserve, as you go and serve even more people, which is really, really exciting. I think also, I always remember you telling me the story about your kids and things that you guys have started doing together that you think has, you know, really helped them feel good, and you have something that you guys can all do together as a family.
Yeah, so one thing we started straight away was gratitude. So I find myself that if I don't do gratitude every day, I'm a different soul. I'm pretty much an antichrist. So when I do gratitude, I'm just so different, because you can't be one if you're doing the other. And I found, let's start this with the kiddies. Now Molly is too, so she'll blabber away about different things, and it's great fun even listening to her. But Shay is just started junior infants, and, you know, struggling, trying to find his feet, and he's a boy, and there's 15 other boys in the class, and it's carnage, and it's great fun. But they, you know, every evening I ask him what he's thankful for. And one evening in particular, I really noticed the difference. Brian had come in, he had been, I think, 3.5 hours in the car. There'd been a crash on the N7, so some people will resonate with that. And he wasn't in it, thank God, so that's all that matters. But he strolled in and he was stressed and tormented and he had a headache. And I said to Shay, I was like, tell Daddy what you just told me that you're thankful for. And he said, I am so thankful, Daddy, for you wrestling with me every evening. And Brian's shoulders just completely dropped, and he just got this big smile on his face, and he went, oh my God, you know. And that's, to me, that showed the moment that we're going to do this all our lives, you know, that we're going to try and help each other, and be grateful for everything we have, but also drive on as much as possible. And the other thing we do fun things like, you know, memory games and things like that. So working on what, you know, you had showed us around the higher faculties of, you know, increasing your memory, increasing your intuition, increasing your imagination. So I have said to Shay, you know, what is it you want? And, you know, and he goes, I really want to go to Disneyland. I was like, hey, let's put a time frame on it. And I was, you know, trying to get him into the whole saving mindset, but anyway. And I was like, put a time frame on it, and we will get there and picture yourself on that ride, and we'll have great fun, and it'll be the four of us having great time. So he is gung-ho. He's 5 now, and he's gung-ho for when he's 8, because Molly needs to be big enough too.
Beautiful. How gorgeous, you know?
Yeah,
so gorgeous.
All of things like that, that, you know, other times, this time last year I went, oh, for God's sake, we don't have enough money. What are you even thinking like that? We're never going to get there, Shay. You know, whereas now I'm like, yes, we will. By the time you're 8, we absolutely will, Shay. And I can't wait for it.
Yeah, how exciting. How exciting. So, Mary, for people who are here who, like, you know, are feeling the same way you felt at the start, like you're there, you're trying your best as a mom, you know, you just don't really know where to start. Like, what would be your advice for them?
My number one advice is to invest in yourself, because for 5 years I didn't, from being pregnant with Shay right through to having Molly. They were number one. by far and away. And, you know, they should be for a period, absolutely. But I feel I got that quite badly wrong in terms of it was just about them. So I didn't exercise, didn't really eat that well, you know, didn't do any reading or studying or, you know, I suppose the last 8 months have just opened up such a world to me of, and if anything, it's funny because you feel like it's making you busier, but it's not. It's making your life so much simpler, to be honest. I find, you know, and there's so much pressure on people nowadays. There's so much guilt that, you know, you have to buy your kids shoes or swing set out the garden or whatever it is. But I just think investing in yourself is number one. I would never have come up with this business idea without you, Mairead. Never. I'll tell you that now. Because Mom said it to me 2 months after Dad passed, going, you'd be great at this. You love talking to people and you're really organised. And I laughed at her and I went, yeah, sure. I'm working with this other company. Sure, I'll always be an employee. What are you talking about, Mom? You know, and now I'm like, oh my God, you know, I can do this and I can have the confidence to set up my own business, which sounds ludicrous 8 months ago. And now I'm like, no, I can and I will, and I know it'll be a success. So I'm, you know, and it drives me every day. I'm so passionate, as you said, about that versus just getting up at 5 a.m. to drive to Dublin for 2 hours to work. No, I like my job too. But I suppose it doesn't give me the same passion or the same gut-wrenching feeling about, oh my God, I could do this, you know, and help people. And I suppose for me, if you're a mum or a dad listening in, this is about, you know, doing things with your kids that will open up the whole world to them. But it's also doing it for them. You know, to be happy and healthy in 50, 60 years time and watch them flourish, watch them grow. Like I know in my current position or, you know, in terms of where I'm working in the 4 hour commute, I know I'll end up sick. So, you know, what am I doing this for? If there's something else out there that drives me far further and I can have more time and enjoy my life with my children, isn't that amazing, you know? And it's about doing it for them, but doing it with them as well is so important. And I love the idea of, you know, when they're studying, like even Shay with memory, and if he's trying to, you know, think of a date or anything like that, and I'm like, oh, let's find a fun way of remembering this, you know? So
little tools. Yeah, that's gorgeous.
And I just see, I think Lisa's just joined, and I know for people just starting out with your program, for example, it is just, it's absolutely overwhelming at the start because you're so stuck and you want everything in your life to change. Everything has to be better. But I suppose what I found amazing is my husband got me this for Christmas, which is a CEO of your own life planner. And I have a little checklist every day of what I want to get through. And I've added to it as the months went by, going, oh yeah, that'd be lovely to add to my daily list or whatever. And I find I just tick it off during the day whenever I get a chance. And if I don't, it's okay. I just move on to the next day and get it done then. Whereas before I would have been absolutely kicking myself and have given up 6 months ago. So, and I just think for anyone starting out as well, if they are stuck, just call you. So
yes, I know.
think that made a huge difference to me. I might be stuck for a day or 2 or 3 days going, oh, I don't know what I'm doing here and why I'm doing it. And I ring you and within 5 minutes we're sorted.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. I mean, I'm the same, Mari, you know, like I wouldn't have got anywhere near where I've got to if it wasn't for all the mentors that I had. You know, I think it's like what I was always told, like accountability is a success insurance policy. And it so is, because it's just that it's just something to fall back on. And we all have those moments where we're going towards something and everything, the fear, the criticism, the self-doubt is just all you can hear, right? And you just need that person to kind of be there with you that's saying, come on. You know, and also, you know, I feel really privileged. I mean, we've both been through the same program. And I think, you know, the fact that we got access to that level of information and being able to learn, not just kind of, you know, a haphazard or like, you know, something that hasn't been around for a while. The process that we've used to create our businesses has been around for nearly 60 years. And I think we're just really fortunate that we've come upon it. And I feel so privileged to have been part of your journey as you've been going through it. It's been, quite an honor, I have to say.
Thanks, Brett. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
You've been absolutely amazing to me. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, well, I'm delighted that we got to come and talk on this, because we always have some fun, you know. So I think, is there anything else you wanted to say? Is any parting comments, or I think, to be honest, I really feel like your words of wisdom have been spot on. I think what's unique for you as well is the experience between balancing your corporate life versus your children, and trying to prioritize what's important, but at the same time creating financial stability and freedom for yourself. Like, you can have both, you know, and there's a lot of parents, I think, out there who think they have to sacrifice one because they want the other to be flourishing. So I think, I think that's kind of the point that I take away from what you've shared as well today, is that, like, you can have both. You can create a space where you're living life the way you want to live it. You have the time to look after your children. You have the time to, you know, have the kind of home that you want. And also the kind of financial situation that you want to be in, and also living your purpose as an individual, you know, that's that separate identity to being a mum, right? Because you can have it all.
Exactly. And I've often talked to Shay about, you know, him coming to work with me for the summer, then we'd go and meet people and help them, and he's loving the idea. It's brilliant. And I suppose that is my parting thought on this, is that this isn't about, you know, it is about getting in touch with your higher faculties and getting to know your own mindset and your own personal development. But it's not about just becoming Mother Earth and, you know, not having any income coming in and just being there for your children, and or just being in the corporate world and never seeing your kids. It's that beautiful mix of both, but also having money. Like, money will come to you as part of this, which is amazing to think, you know. And I suppose that's something I never thought of before, you know, that I could actually, I can do this and, you know, not lose income, and not, you know, which is always fear when you come out of, you know, possibly coming out of employment or whatever that is, you know, your choice. But I think that's what's fabulous with this program. It teaches you both.
It's been an absolute pleasure. I know that you have inspired and motivated and helped a lot of people, and you will continue with this. I'm so excited. We got to capture it. And there's already people commenting. You'll have to go back and read through it. So if anyone wants to get in touch with you, Mary, about your services and what's happening in Ireland, what's the best way for them to get in contact with you?
I suppose the best way is through Facebook for now. Currently setting it all up in the background.
Yeah, fantastic.
Through Facebook.
So if they add you or send you a direct message, to get the ball rolling, just to kind of maybe find out more about what you're doing, or maybe they've got someone in mind or something, they can start the ball rolling in that space. And wonderful, you'll reach out to them too, which is awesome. Wonderful. Thank you, Mary,
so much for it. Have a great day.
You're so welcome. Well done, you did amazingly.
Thank you so much.
Bye. I'll talk to you soon. See you. Bye, everybody who's on the call. See you guys.